Hey guys, welcome to our Netbeans tutorial. And today's lesson I'll be teaching you a bit of coding, and we will also be experimenting with a radio button. This is just to help complete our Netbeans series a bit quicker. This is mostly a tutorial on how to get this thing up and running. So this is our Celsius field and this is our Fahrenheit field. Our program is going to determine which field is occupied. So let's say, for example, the Celsius field is occupied. Then our program will automatically detect that and then check if our Fahrenheit field is occupied, and if it isn't, then it'll automatically convert it. So let's get started by double clicking on our convert button and getting into our source code. Okay, so now that we are in our source code, we're going to add an if statement. So if, and we're going to check our Celsius field. So if Celsius field dot get text does not equal null, and null basically means nothing. So if it doesn't equal nothing, which means if it has something in it, that might be a little bit confusing, but anyways, so in Java this is not equals to, it's an exclamation mark and then an equals to sign right after. So if it does not equal to, we're going to get the text out of this field. Now keep in mind that in Java the text fields are only able to deal with text, strings, characters, things like that. We cannot do mathematical formulas, so we have to convert the value in this into a number. So let's firstly get the value. Now this is just to make it easier. If you're a more advanced programmer, you can do this all in one step, but we're not going to do that. So let's add a string and let's add degree. But this is a stupid variable name. I'm not very good with them. So Celsius field dot get text. Oh, sorry, Netbeans autofill. It's basically getting the text from our Celsius field and putting it into this variable name called degree. Now our text is in this degree, so let's forget about Celsius field dot get text. Now we're going to add a double. Now a double is basically a number with which has a decimal point. So we can use numbers that have 86.321843. With the integer I would have just rounded it off to 86 degrees. So let's say double degree Celsius equals double dot pass double. Now this is just part of the Java API, double dot pass double, and in these brackets we need to put our variable name, which is degree. Now as I said, if you're an advanced programmer, you don't actually have to put in this first line. You can just copy this and put it in place of that. Okay, but anyways, we have our degree Celsius. Now we're going to get a formula to convert Fahrenheit to degree. Already got that off the internet, and this is what it is. Degree C. Okay, this is what it is. You can see I've added another double Fahrenheit for Fahrenheit, and our formula is degree Celsius times 9/5, which is I think that should be 1.8. 1.8 plus 32. Now keep in mind to always put things in brackets, like BODMAS, which you might have learned in primary school. Basically multiplication must happen first, then addition must happen afterwards. Okay, now we can either test this out, but since this is a basic program, we are not going to use the output terminal. We're just going to go straight and put it into our text field, because I want to make this video as short as possible. So yeah, let's get the variable name, which is Fahrenheit field. Copy and paste, because programmers are lazy. So yeah, okay. So Fahrenheit field dot set text. Once again, another Netbeans function, whatever you want to call it, and it's basically the same as get text, but instead of fetching text, we are now putting text into the text field, and we can put in Fahrenheit, which is our answer. And as you can see right here, we have an error. Now, sorry about that. Now, in our you may be wondering, why do we have this error? Now keep in mind, in our very first tutorial I explained that text field can only handle text. And in this first line, you can see we had to convert the text into a number. Now we have to convert the number back into a text. So let's put this as Farron F for Farron final. Now let's type in Farron F is equal to Farron plus an empty string. An empty string is, sorry, we didn't actually declare this as a string. Okay, so an empty string is basically two semicolons straight off, one after the other. You can leave spaces if you want. It doesn't really matter as long as you don't have text in it like that. Then it's considered to be an empty string, which means there's nothing in the string. That's basically how you convert it, and we no more have the error. Let's compile and build. Now run our program. Now let's put in 30 degrees Celsius. Click on convert, and we got 86.0 degrees. Let's try something a bit more complicated, 30.2. Now you can see our answers changing at the bottom as well. Now just keep in mind this program has lots of variables that can change. Let's say for example someone types in hello, convert, and you can see we have a whole lot of red errors here. Now we have to cater for that. We have to say we have to add exceptions, things like that. Now you guys can add that in your own time. As I said, this is not a Java tutorial, but you can add a try and catch, maybe if it's not a number, different things like that. But you may also notice what happens if I type 52 degrees, 53 degrees here, and you can see it works fine right now. But what happens when we start adding stuff for our Fahrenheit field? We need to add a more in-depth if statement. So we're going to add an and in Java we use two ands, basically shift and 7, and we're going to type in Fahrenheit field dot get text equals no, forgot the open close brackets. Okay, so now basically we are checking if Fahrenheit field has nothing in it, and we are also checking if our Celsius field has something in it. Now remember in Java we can use and we can use or, which is this sign right here, and there's different things like that. It's basically like logic gates if you did electronics, but this wouldn't actually work. Now this is because once again text fields can only handle text. Equals usually deals with numbers and mathematical formulas or equations, so we have to change this to dot equals, and we can put it as null, but you can see we have an error here. Null is usually used with equals or not equals, so we're going to change this to an empty string, and that should work. Now you might not get why we actually did this right now, but when you guys go home and do your homework, and yeah, I'm giving you guys homework, so when you guys go home and do it, or you're probably at home now watching this video, but when you decide to try it out, you'll notice that someone can type in hello, something in there, try click convert, get errors, and you'll need a whole lot of if statement to check certain things to make sure your application is bugless. And in Vertex Digital Art we always make programs that have no bugs in it. Our version 1.0 is the first version and the only version that doesn't have any bugs. We don't have version 1.2 for bug fixes, you know. So we try to cater for everything the first time. Because as a consumer of products, you know, software, we hate it when we get errors. But yeah, so we type in 52, 14, you can see nothing is happening because we added this extra field. If we delete that, you can see we get an answer. Now when we try to change our temperature, let's say 80 degrees Celsius, it doesn't work because it's telling us that both fields have something in it. So let's add something that will clear both the text fields, just for convenience sake and to avoid this error. Now let's try using a radio button, which isn't the best choice for something like this. You would probably use a button, but just to continue on with the series, we're going to be using a radio button. So let's drag and drop this in, and you'll see it disappears. So let's go to our navigator, take our radio button and put it over our image. Right click on this, go down to properties, scroll down and look for opaque and untick that. Now you can see it changed. Let's just change the color to white so it stands out. There we go. We can edit the text, so clear all values. There we go. Centralize it a bit more. Okay. Now we have this. Compile, build, run, and there we go. Nothing actually happens, of course. Let's add some code. Right click on this, events, action, action performed. Scroll down a bit. Okay, so let's get coding this. Now let's just rename our value really quick. Change variable name, clear all. Okay, now let's get back into our code, and we're going to add another if statement. If I didn't actually copy paste it, but if clear all dot is selected, once again a function in Netbeans or Java. It's pretty basic. It's basically checking if it is selected, and if it is selected, then we're going to run some code. So as soon as it finds out it's selected, we're going to change Fahrenheit field dot set text and put it as an empty string. Just a really quick and easy way of removing text out of a text field. I know a whole bunch of other people who use Java sit there and type out all this pages of code to do something that takes us one line. But okay, let's try it out. 23 degrees Celsius, convert that to 73.4. As soon as we click this button, our text should disappear. So tick it and our text is gone. Now keep in mind that our button is still checked as on, so we can still work with it, but if we click it again, it doesn't disappear. We have to click it twice. So let's add something that will automatically change it back into the off state. So for that, all we have to do is type in clear all dot set selected false. This is basically like set text. We're basically forcing what we want it to be set as. We want it to be set as false. So false means unticked or unchecked, whatever you want to call it. Now you can see it disappears really quickly, to the point where you can actually not see the little blue button in the middle. That's okay. Like I said before, this wasn't obviously the best option, but this is just to help you with your own projects. So 96.8, click it, disappeared, and you can obviously do it like that. So yeah, this is how we would use a JRadio button to clear text fields or anything like that. Obviously, for a more practical solution, you might use a button or a different swing control, but this is just for the purpose of teaching you guys how to use different functions within Netbeans and how to use all these swing controls. So anyways, I hope you guys like the videos. Please subscribe and comment telling us what you would like to see in our future videos. If you have any requests or any things that you would like to be custom built, then please let us know and we would gladly help you. So once again, thanks for watching, guys.